Mark, as weeks go, it's not been a bad one for you.
No, yeah, of course it's been good. But it's a positive, of course. But I don't want it to end here, So look forward to tomorrow now and hopefully keep that going.
So, other than the change of formation, which obviously has changed your position slightly, is there anything different, or is it just you've been in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, just playing higher up the pitch. Feel like I'm a bit closer to goal and more involved in the attack. So it's somewhere I've played most of my career, especially the last couple of years at Oxford, and that's where I got most of my goals from. And I feel like, yeah, probably just I'm in the right place at the right time at the minute. So hopefully that continues.
And is it that sort of putting on a comfortable pair of slippers kind of thing, going back into a place where, even just standing 15, 20 yards up the pitch, it feels more comfortable?
Yeah, it does. It also gives you that little bit of protection behind you when you've got George, who's playing there at the minute. He's got that sort of side of the pitch locked off, and I do tend to go back and help him a little bit as well, and because I know what it feels like to be left sometimes 1v1. So no, I don't mind doing that. And of course, on the other side of that, he comes up the pitch and helps me, so it's good.
And speaking to him the other week, he's definitely somebody who I think would probably prefer to defend than attack. So you've got that knowledge that you're not having to worry about him going shooting past you all the time and thinking I'm going to be going the other way.
No, obviously I've only played with George for a short amount of time, but I think it's clear that he's much more defensive than he is attacking, so it suits him where he is and it suits me where I am, so it's all well and good.
Yeah, and it's great saying you're playing in a more comfortable position and all the rest of it, but sometimes luck just smiles on you a little bit, and being in the right place and getting those 2 balls at the weekend and all the rest of it, you must be walking air at the moment, I can imagine.
No, yeah, it feels good, of course it does, but like I've touched on, I don't want it just to be a short stint where I'm enjoying a bit of luck in front of goal, I want it to prolong throughout my career, not just this season. I want to be more involved in the attacks and bring my stats up a lot more than they are, so I feel like I do that quite well when I'm in that position.
Well, you got an assist as well in midweek, didn't you?
Did I?
Didn't you play the ball through to Sam?
No, that was Kingy.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I was going to say I'd take an assist there.
I'm trying to give you one.
Kingy, yeah. No, so no. Listen, if I'm involved in the assist side of things as well, that's good. But the most important thing at the minute for us is winning games, and we've been doing that, so it's good.
And having played as a team quite well over the last sort of month or so, but not getting the rewards, is it as simple as the formation change? Is it just you get a little bit of luck, or you taking the chances? What's gone right this week that hasn't quite gone right before that?
Probably just being a bit more clinical in front of goal again. We scored 4 obviously last week, and then we scored 2 during the week there. So I think not that we dried up in front of goal, but we just weren't taking most of our chances, and results probably weren't going our way, and we were just struggling for a bit of confidence. But a game winning will breed that confidence, and we've obviously won our last 2 games there. So we go into Blackburn tomorrow with confidence through the roof.
Yeah, and that was a game earlier in the season. It was, I think, one of your better performances. You played really well up there, even though it was only a 1-goal victory. But they're obviously just a bit of a strange team that are either very hot or sometimes a bit cold.
Yeah, the manager touched on their results. I think they've won 13 and lost 12, and so they're a beatable team, of course. We would like to be higher up the table, and if we want to be that team, then we've got to win games such as tomorrow.
And realistically, having performed so well at home last week after going a couple of months without doing so well in front of the home fans, it would be great to cap off what would then be an amazing week with another win.
Yeah, of course, but like any week we want to win games. It's not like we go out there to try and draw a game or just try and hold on to something. We've got the same intention every week, and unfortunately in football, we can't win every week. And tomorrow, we'll go out with the full intention of trying to get all 3 points, and hopefully we can do that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
With the wing-back role that you had at the start of the season, was there a lot to think about? Like when you take to the pitch, because it's a newish position, and you're getting lots of instructions. Was that sort of on your mind because you were sort of thinking about whereas where you're playing now, it is a more natural role for you, so you're not having to think as much? Or am I jumping to conclusions there?
To be honest, I take quite a lot of the information that I get quite seriously and to the point. So before a match day, I'd like to know exactly what I need to do and what I'm asked to do. But at the end of last year, I played a few games at Oxford in that position, so I'd probably only played around 20 something games in that position. So it was still relatively new to me. And as I've touched on before, I wasn't signed to play that position. So it kind of just was through on me, and then I feel like I took it in my stride. And like anything, it just takes a bit of time to adjust to things, and performances then went to go up and down a little bit. But that's not to say that when I'm playing the right of a front three, it's not going to be the same. You know, I'm not going to be scoring 1 and 2 goals every week, but I would like to. But no, I feel a lot more comfortable in the attacking position. It's something that I've done throughout my short career as such, but I feel comfortable there, and obviously with the goals, it does help, you know, and you get that little bit of praise, and everyone thinks that that's your best position, which I feel like probably is, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks go.
Well, we're over halfway through your first championship season.
Yeah.
Could you offer some sort of analysis, kind of how different it is to what you've experienced before?
It's been good. It's been definitely a new learning curve. I feel like when I was at Oxford, we were quite a team where we always aim for promotion. We get beat in the final and in the semi-final of the playoffs. So being in the position that we've been in this year has been new to me. It's obviously been more difficult. You know, there's been more pressure on the team where we haven't been winning games, and we need to be winning games. But like, it is enjoyable, you know. I love playing here. I love playing that little bit higher up the pitch, and it's obviously going to be more difficult, you know. So I feel like I've what's the word I'm trying to say?
Adapted?
No, well, I feel like I've experienced the negatives and the positives to this team, you know, and to this season. So I feel well equipped already for it, but I'm sure throughout the rest of my career and this season that there'll be more highs and lows.
How do you think? I appreciate it's difficult sometimes to talk about yourself, but how different a player do you think you are now? Or maybe you're not different a player.
No,
I don't know.
Probably not. No, I feel quite the same, to be honest. And I don't know if even since I've come to England in the past 4 years, I've definitely learned a lot of things, but I don't know if I've changed who I am as a player. You know, I've always been a similar player. I've just probably got better at the things, you know. And I do love to listen to the coaches in terms of what position to be in and out of possession, and I enjoy that side of things. So I feel like the higher you go as well, that's kind of thrown on you a bit more. I feel like when I was playing part-time a few years back, you just used to turn up and play, but I enjoy the side where we analyse the team that we're playing, and we analyse our own performances, and I feel like you can only get better by doing that.
Can we talk about your international status?
No problem,
Obviously, your major debut would have been was a big moment for you. Can you just talk a bit about the decision, because it was quite a big deal?
Yeah, I spoke about this quite a lot of times, and I don't understand. I feel like for me, because I'm an Irish person, it's probably different for me. But when I'm explaining it to other people, like as an Irish person, I don't see the big problem with representing Ireland as a football team. So for me, it's as simple as that. But for others to understand it, it's like, oh, well, you've changed nationalities, you've done this and that. But I feel like I haven't changed nationality. I've always been an Irish person, and I play for Republic of Ireland, thankfully, and I've made my debut. So I'm very happy about that. But for others, it's difficult to understand, especially back home in Ireland. Some people say that I shouldn't have done it or I should have done it, but they don't understand the sacrifices that I go through on a daily basis, you know, to live this life. So I feel like if I'm making a football decision, it's down to me, and ultimately it was. Presumably
Northern Ireland wanted to...
Of course, yeah.
And they've tried to call you up, have they?
No, well, I was in a lot of Northern Ireland camps when I was younger, when Michael O'Neill was the manager, and because I didn't play, I then was still available to represent Ireland. And when Ian Barclough got the Northern Ireland job, Stephen Kenny, I think, got the job at around the same time, who's the Ireland manager, and he called me up and see if I was interested, and of course I was. It was always something that would have loved to have done, but I just never had the opportunity until then. So first time I was asked was the first time I answered.
There seems to be, after a few difficult, challenging years for the national team, there's a little bit of excitement about the sort of got Evan Ferguson obviously down at Brighton, was doing amazing things, and there's a crop. There's definitely seems to be a crop coming through. Do you kind of get that sense of excitement about the national team again?
Listen, it's always difficult, when you're playing such nations. I think we play France if I'm selected in March, which is how difficult of a game can that be, But I think England are obviously the top kind of nation in terms of between us, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. They're the top nation, and the rest of us are kind of find it difficult to get them big results. But we always work hard like any team, and we'll try and win those games. But it's going to be difficult, of course. And like you say, there's some young players coming through who look to have a bright future. So it looks good.
Curtis Fleming, he must be probably talking to you quite a bit about days in the island. Is he giving you any old war stories about Ireland?
Not so much. He did say he was speaking to the Ireland manager yesterday as well. So I think he had done an interview with somebody, and the Ireland manager tagged him just whatever they spoke about. But I'm sure I would have come up in the conversation. So the last time I was involved when I made my debut, the Ireland manager had actually called him and just asked how I was performing really and how I felt I was doing. So it's nice to have that little Irish connection in there where people can chat to each other about myself. So it's good.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you.
Hey Mark, sorry to continue on the international front.
No.
I was just thinking, obviously you were playing at the top end of League One, obviously with Oxford promotion-wise. Do you think, obviously you made your debut for Ireland as a Bristol City player, do you think that move to Bristol City had to happen for you to play at international level for Ireland?
Probably so, but it doesn't mean that the Ireland teams, well, should I say Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, aren't playing League One players. Because there has been and there still will be. But it does obviously help when you're playing in a better team in a bigger league, which is great for me, I wouldn't say it had to happen, but it's definitely benefited me. And we'll see, listen, because I'm playing now and I've scored a few goals, it obviously attracts some attention, but I still not too sure where I'm fitting in terms of the Ireland team. I've played a couple of minutes, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself on that one.
And obviously, you won't be involved in the transfer. It is the January transfer window. I was just wondering, as a player, what's the mindset when speculation happens, either for yourself or around your teammates in the first process? If there's an interest in you, do you pay attention to that, or do you have to speak to?
I mean, if it's about you, yes, but if it's about your teammates, then not so much, no, because you barely even hear anything anyway. So obviously, I've seen Ants has been in the media this week about a move and that, but no one knows anything about it really, apart from him, his agent, and the club. I think that's a personal matter as well. I wouldn't go around asking people what's going on or anything. It's nothing to do with me. But if it is to do with me, then of course you do know, and you want to know what's going on, and it may be a bit of a distraction, but everyone's different. I can only give my personal point on that.
And obviously, I think you played part-time football. You played in the Northern Ireland Premiership. Could you ever see yourself, obviously, at the halfway stage of the Championship? Did you ever see yourself, perhaps then, your younger self, get to this stage?
Yeah, I would have always thought I would have got here. Doesn't mean I was going to, but I would have liked to think I would have been able to. Not many people do it. So I probably had a bit more confidence than I should, but I feel like, why not? You got to believe in yourself. And I think whenever I was playing back home in them leagues, it also gave me that belief and confidence to play against other men. Really, I didn't really enjoy playing the youth team setups. Even now here, when I watch the youth team games, I don't feel like it really represents what you're going to experience in a men's game. But listen, it's benefited me. I'm here now. Not everyone's going to be the same, you know. There's probably 1 in 1,000 people that do it, or whatever the stat is. But for me, thankfully, I'm the lucky one.
Just lastly, because we've seen that a bit more of a platform now. It seems to be a lot of EFL clubs, Championship and League One, are buying players from the League of Ireland. Do you think that that's perhaps an untapped market for a lot of EFL teams? I know like a lot of teams are doing
it. Definitely is, because the younger lads experience, like I say, playing at a men's level so early. We touched on Evan Ferguson. I think he made his debut when he was like 14 against Chelsea or something. And you're like, a 14-year-old playing against Chelsea is crazy, you know. But they're the opportunities that you get back there, and thankfully I was one of them. I made my debut when I was 16, and I went on to play, I think, 150 games. And of course it's going to benefit me. That's not to say if a young player coming from Ireland goes into an academy and plays academy football, he can't get further than I can, or I get further than he does. Everyone's always different, and every career path's different. But for me, the way I've done it, I feel like benefited me.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.